Good evening. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing really good. I'm just going to give it just a few for everyone to pop on, or whoever wants to join me tonight, as we're going to introduce the concept, the idea, the deity of the being of Baphomet. So, again, I'm going to just give it a few. Going to pull up my Facebook just in case while we're waiting, because I'm worried that my comments won't work, which I hate when they don't work. So I really like to get them on my phone instead. So that way we can have a better interaction. I don't have to keep looking to the side all the time. But gotta do what we gotta do, don't we? Hello, everyone that's popping on. I'm perfectly on time. Love it when I'm on time, which is rare. Ah, yay! Phone comments. Love it, even better. Cool. All right. So everyone's popping on. Awesome. Oh, I didn't want to do that. This side's driving me crazy today. My hair is flat today. No matter, even with the waves, it's flat. Hello, Alexia. Rebecca, hello, hello. Hello, everyone popping on. All right. I think I got everything set that I need. Yay. Haley, hello. Hello, hello. All right. I love it. I love it. So again, tonight's whole live is informational base, which it's been a minute. I like to do my do-it-yourselves and, my meditation, stuff like that. And I do healing and energy-based stuff, but I'm going to tap a little bit back into what they say, the dark side, but it's not really the dark side, because I'm going to disprove a few things, but I'm going to give you both sides of things. I will never sit there and say that you cannot look at Baphomet in one direction, because you can look at it in three different sides, three different lights, okay? And that's what we're going to break down. Now, I'm not going to give you the full background story of who Baphomet is and where he originated from. I'm just going to give you a little tidbit. If you want to do extended history research, I'm not the one to do that with. I know who Baphomet is, but I'm not going to relay that information, because I really just want to focus on very key points, and I want to get my point of view across, but I want you to see that there are other people that look at Baphomet a little bit differently, and that's what I'm really excited about. Hello, Crystal, fellow Crystal. So that's what we're going to break into it, okay? So, hope you guys are excited. This is a little bit different. So Baphomet has always been looked at as a very dark entity, being, demon, deity. But in all, Baphomet is actually a symbol. At least that's how I've always learned Baphomet as to be. So Baphomet actually originated back in the 1800s. The 1800s, I know I have it in 1854 is when it really became a concept. But the thing is, the concept actually came from the Knights of Templar. Now, the Knights of Templar, few members used to write scribes. Well, I call them scribes, but they would write, what did they call them? Pretty much they sent letters between each other, very specific members, where they would see this being, this force, this unsure of what it was, and they would write letters back and forth regarding this being that very specific Knights of Templar members would see. But of course, the church or the Vatican got a hold of these letters, read them, burned them, incinerated them. They didn't want any records of there being anything besides God. Now, Baphomet to the Knights of Templar, the information wasn't 100% key of what it was or who it was. It was a symbolism of it. So there was this being that was neither good nor bad. Okay? Trying to think what his name was, because I can't remember. Levy, yes. Levy published a book on it, the occult science, and 1854, I think it was, called Dogma and Ritual of High Magic. So look into that if you want to do a little bit more research. But it was all about the mysteries of this mysterious figure of Baphomet, right? So some people, which we're going to talk about the Church of Satan, some people look at it as a Satan type of being, a devil, a deity, but Baphomet was always supposed to be an esoteric type of figure. It was all about alchemy. And you're going to see that when you look at the being, Baphomet, which we're going to talk about on very specific symbols that it has on it, okay? From the light side to the dark side. And so we're going to talk about Baphomet a little bit. Yes, 100% natural being, and that is what he is, because in alchemy, nothing is ever one thing. So I don't want to jump too far, so let me just read a few things here. So what did I want to read? Okay, so Baphomet was a symbol of equilibrium of energies. Now, what I mean is, he is nor light, and she is nor light. Night or light. Dark, good, bad. Polars. You see that? Always polars. So that's one of the biggest things with him. Now, in 1966, Anton LaVey established the Church of Satan. And the Church of Satan then took on Baphomet because the look of what Baphomet was, with the goat head to the horns to the open chest. Some figurines show a masculine upper body chest. Some show the feminine with the breasts. The genitalia was opposite of what the chest was. It just depends on what type of figurine you look at, okay? None of it's wrong. It's all on your point of view, on what you render him or she to be, okay? The Church of Satan decided, hey, we want this symbol because it's very scary looking with the goat head. That's the pentagram that's on it. We just want to invert it. So we're going to invert the pentagram on Baphomet, and we're going to make it the symbol of rebellion, or to be rebellious of God. Polar opposite. Well, the problem is Baphomet is very spiritual enlightening. He is, I say he because that's how I identify. But it is all about wisdom and what you can, get from it. But it's 100% not to be used as a deity. It's not supposed to be used as a being. It's supposed to be used as a symbol or an amplifier. So if you're looking for balance and harmony, actually Baphomet is the one to go to. But if you want to use it on the darker side of things, then I would highly recommend following the Church of Satan style. But if I'm not mistaken, there's an Egyptian deity that also resembles Baphomet with the goat head, body of a man. And that Egyptian god was all about creation, wisdom, bringing of life. So if you want to kind of see the symbolism between the two of them, I highly recommend looking into it. Don't ask me what the name is, because I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I just know that there is an Egyptian god that highly resembles what Baphomet looks like. I'm trying to think. I don't want to do history. I'm not a history person. I hate going through history on here. Just besides the Knight of Templar, I highly recommend looking into them. You're going to get all your information from Baphomet's origin and all that. Yes, Ronnie. Yep. More looking like a devil, Satan. Yeah. And honestly, if I just show you, okay, it does kind of give that intimidating. But due to modern paganism, and because of what the Church of Satan has made this being into being, everyone sees it and they go, oh my God, that's, you know, that's Satan. You don't want that in your house. You don't want this, that. Actually, you want this in your house. This is a balance. This is what is going to balance through everything. So you all know I have an office, right? I have so many different types of energies in here when I work with them. I have Morgan's main altar down here because this is where she wanted to be. Lilith will be placed somewhere else in the office, probably on the opposite side once that side's all done, with a pretty couch, Victorian couch and all that. And she will have her own sacred space. But the energy itself needs to find a happy balance. So this would be the perfect representation to have in your house. Now, Baphomet, I'm not going to lie, is going to go upstairs once I finish some rooms. And you want that. You really do want that type of energy in your house because it's not a bad thing. And especially if you work with an alchemy, like chaos magic, having this, perfect. And I know Sarah Lee can 100% agree with it because it is everything, which I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about all the different symbols that Baphomet actually has on it, all the representations, all of it. So we're going to look into that too. All right, so I wrote down my views, and I wrote them down like this because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget how I want you guys to see that I look at them. Because I sat here and I'm sitting here typing and I'm like, let me tell them how I see Baphomet. But I don't want to forget how I see him. And it actually took me a minute because I'm like, okay, how do I use him? Why do I use him? What is the best way to go about explaining him, if that makes sense? So Baphomet, like I said, is a balance symbol for me. Everyone knows that I'm a yin-yang practitioner. I focus on both sides of the spectrum. I love healing and energy, but I also love the dark side. I'm a left-handed path practitioner as well, okay? So I'm that happy medium. I love balance, so he helps me focus on balance. It is not Satan. It is not the devil. It is not Lucifer. It is not a demon. And I know this because I work with demons very well. I love the demons. That is not a demon at all, okay? The left-handed path's depiction of what a demon is not anything Baphomet represents, ever, all right? It is a symbol, not a deity. Now, if you ever want to scroll TikTok and look into some stuff, there are a few practitioners on there that utilize Baphomet as a deity. Yes, 100% a deity. Ask me, though, where Baphomet's Pathon actually originates from. Yeah. So, how it's formed as a deity, I'm not really sure why they would do that, but they utilize his energy as a deity. That's fine. Some people need that. Nothing wrong with that. It's just not the way I do it. But you have that option too, if you want to look at it as something more than just a symbol or an amplifier, because that's also another thing. So I do use it, like I already stated, it's a central balance. I use it as an amplifier. So it's really cool to be able to use something like a clear quartz crystal. Because that's pretty much, in a way, if you want to like look at crystals, it's clear quartz. It is an amplifier, okay? Its horns point in directions to amplify the energy. So if I'm working with alchemy, right here, if I'm working in chaos magic, right here, it's fantastic, okay? Highly recommend. Oh, no worries. Let's see. I am the opposite. I love the history of things, knowing where it originates from, how it came to be, etc. It's just fascinating. No, don't get me wrong. I love history, but I don't want to repeat history for you guys. Because sometimes when you read history, it's kind of like, and I hate to say this, like politics and religion. You fall on a side of a spectrum when you read it. You agree with the history or you disagree with the history. You think they did a good thing, like, oh, yep, I like the Knights of Templar. I thought they have a very unique understanding of things, and they weren't completely with the church, but they were with the church, but they weren't with the church. And that's the thing that I like people to do their own research on history, is because of that. Because how I depict the Knights of Templar is not what you are going to depict the Knights of Templar. So that's why I said I'd rather you guys do your own research. I'm not that history one to, give to you. Don't get me wrong. I love my history. Especially if it's Norse and Celtic. See, Ronnie has him in his home, has him in her home as well. Does he neutralize as well as amplify? I guess the neutralizing part would come on what you're utilizing as a neutral. So what you're trying to neutralize, negative energies. I personally wouldn't use him for negative energies. I wouldn't use him to neutralize anything like that. So honestly, for me personally, I wouldn't. I would just use him to rebalance things, reharmonize things, and amplify things. But again, that's my personal preference, and I don't see anything wrong with utilizing him as a neutralize, because alchemy can neutralize anything. You got your positive and negative neutrons. It's the same equivalency. Wow, I just brought my science geek part out me. They have to neutralize somehow, so you can have positive and negative. So I don't see why that would not work. I actually recommend it. I just personally wouldn't use it. It's because I look at things a little bit differently. Like how people love lapis lazuli, I think that's what you're saying. And I call it fake sodalite. Some things one way, and exactly. And I like lapis lazuli because it has pyrite in it, and I utilize pyrite for the dragons that I work with. So I actually like lapis lazuli for the third eye opening, awakening with the dragons. See? But I understand 100% because I know Gina hates pyrite, and I don't think she likes lapis either because of the pyrite in it. She's very sensitive to pyrite because of her mediumship abilities. Not going deep into history gives us the opportunity to do our own research. Ha! I was typing this when you said, great minds think alike. I'm just saying. Okay, so back onto my personal views. Baphomet is a male and a female, and you're going to know that based off of looking at, like, this is 100% male. This depiction is of a female, but the genitalia, which you can't see, but I'm telling you, the genitalia on the original form of Baphomet is male genitalia. Now, if this is a female or a male chest, so pectorals, it would have a female genitalia instead. So it's kind of cool. How do you spell his name? I'm sure if I go by how it sounds, I'll spell it wrong. Nope, you're good. It's Baphomet. Baphomet. But most of us just say Baphomet. Baphomet. And you say it enough, you'll say it multiple times, and you'll say it different every time, because you always want to say Baphomet, but it's Baphomet. Baphomet. But it is male and female. It is a representation of dark and light. It is a representation of all the classic elements. The classic elements. So the 4 elements, not including spirit, just the 4, okay? Harmony, balance, 2x2s. It is man and animal. So it is, oh my gosh. It is opposites, male and female, or male and, oh my gosh, man and animal. 100% alchemy based. You're going to tell that by the tattoos, I call them, in the forearms, which are alchemy words. Trying to think, what was it? Without me looking. Solve is on one, and coagula is on the other. So solve, coagula, which are both alchemy terms. It has 100% kundalini energy, and you're going to be able to tell by the snakes on it. There's a white, well, the representation, if you look at actually the color portrait, not just the statue, but the color portrait, it is a white snake and a black snake blended together. Actually, they're wrapped kind of like together, which is really cool because it is that symbol that the nurses use to represent nurses. So it's that snake symbol. And then it is angelic and demonic. Even though I said it's not demons, it's angelic and demonic. It could be both, okay? That's where that polar opposite is. That's why I said if you want to follow the Church of Satan's view of it, that's where the demonic part comes in. If you want to look at it like a balancing thing, that's where the angelic part comes into play. I really need to check what I write before I post it. Oh, do I gotta read what you just... Oh, because lapis lazuli. You're welcome. Listen, not you. Voice to text kills me. So, let's talk about the symbols, okay? Now, I'm going to try and bring it closer so you guys kind of see. But the solve and the coagula are on the arms. So all of them are going to have solve. And then on the other one, can I get it closer? You're going to see it tattooed coagula, okay? And those are the alchemy terms. One represents like solving a problem, and experimentation, and coagula. I really do forget what coagula is, and I won't lie to you because I can't remember. But it is an alchemy term that is opposite of solve. So I think it's like experiment or something like that. But coagula, solve, coagula. This is awesome, getting a detailed explanation of the personification of Baphomet, not just written or history. Oh, for sure. You know me. So that's the two. So those are the alchemy. So one side of the body, the opposite side of the body. Then you have, like we always say, the left-handed path, the right-handed path. It goes with this too. So the left side of the body is the dark side. The right side of the body is the light side. Again, you see how everything kind of blends together. The two-finger salute here, which, can you see the two-finger salute? The two-finger salute is representing as above, so below. Occult. Oh, look at that. Alchemy and occult tied together. So, yeah, you're going to see the little thingy. As above, so below. Okay? Now, this one doesn't have a pentagram. Does he have a pentagram? No, he doesn't have a pentagram on him, too. But the main one does have a pentagram, and it's actually, well, I guess usually it's here, but on this one, it's just the star. There's no circle around the star, but I just want you to see like where the head is. See that little star right there? Okay. And that's all about, cultural grounding. Okay. The elements. Now, granted, I did say it represents the 4 main elements. Take it as you see fit. All the research I've done on okay, is it 4 elements, 5 elements? It's going to depend on what you look at. I look at it as 4 main elements, the 4 main elements. I don't look at the spirit on it because I think spirit is a little bit different and doesn't fall with alchemy. But that's just my personal belief, not anything, crazy or anything like that. Oh my gosh. The snakes. The double snakes here, which you see right here, okay? The snakes represent not only the yin and yang idea of it, or, light and dark side of things, but it also represents trading and negotiations, okay? So working together, coming to a compromise, wisdom-based. So that's where those 2 snakes come into play too. Does this one have it? The torch. Nope, this one does not. But as above, so below. I don't think I showed you this one. As above, so below. There are supposed to be torches. Oh, here they are. The torches between the horns here, it represents the pursuit of knowledge. Okay, so these are representing the torch between the horns, but this representation does not, which I think is really cool. It's a little lunar thing. This was a gift, actually. This one doesn't have it, but you can see this depiction's more of the satanic, so Church of Satan style, and this is more of the neutral based. That's why I have both. I thought it was perfect for this. The breasts in this case are representing the feminine. If you have pectorals, like how this one is, this, of course, depicts the masculine energies of things. The other genitalia would represent the opposite of it, masculine and feminine, because there's always got to be both. And then, like I said, the Latin words here, Solve, I already talked about that. One arm is represented as a female arm and the other is a male arm. So I'm going to bring it out and you're actually going to see the difference in thickness on the arms, which is going to really blow you because you don't really, when I showed it to you, I bet you never even realized it. But one arm is thinner than the other. One is more feminine looking and one is more masculine looking. So let's look. Now I'm going to kind of like turn it around like a little bit. Okay, so the feminine is this arm. The masculine is this arm. Okay, so there gives you that, you know, masculine, feminine. The rod between the snakes represents eternal life. So that rod cuts into the genitalia. But it does represent eternal life. That's what that rod is. So the negotiations and the trading of the snakes, the light and the dark, cut in half by the eternal life. Pretty cool, right? Now, the body, which I guess this is probably the best way to show you. See this here, all here? These are representing as scales. Scales represent one of the elements, water, okay? Remember I said the demonic and angelic, the wings, angel, angelic. I hate to do this. The face, the horns, demonic. Pretty interesting. So again, light and dark, there you go on that, okay? Now, there are more symbolisms. I only kind of gave you just a little bit. You're more than welcome to dig deeper. I just wanted to give you the main ones that a lot of people will utilize into this. So, if you're working with this and any type of working, focusing on what you need the most out of it. Or just using it as a whole, which is kind of cool. Nope. I use this as a him as well, so don't feel bad. But with the female breasts, a lot of people do utilize it as a femme too. Yep, one is muscular. Yep. The smile, and that's you're right. The smile too, which you can see, it's not frowning. It's not depicting as malicious or having malicious content or malicious meaning or reason or wanting to be malicious in any form. It's actually just very harmonious, very happy and stuff like that. So, some type of workings that'll be really good to work with Baphomet on. Shadow workings, okay? We already know what shadow workings can be. However, if you're using it in the Church of Satan, I guess how should I reword this differently? Okay, so there's shadow working. So, you know, like looking into your own self, seeing what's going on, finding out the issues, trying to correct them. But then there's shadow magic or shadow working. Shadow magic, you can also utilize this if you're working with him as the devil or a deity or Church of Satan, pretty much. You can look at him into the shadow magic side of things, because shadow magic it's a left-handed path style. So just kind of a little info on that. Any type of elemental workings or any elemental magic, that's your go-to. Of course, any type of alchemy workings, chaos magic, of course, would work. I'm sorry, my nose is just so bad. If you're working with the divine feminine and masculine energies, the universe, or if you work with the divine masculine and the divine feminine, because there are people that don't work with actual deities, but they work with those type of energies, this would be really good to incorporate as well. Because again, I use it as an amplifier. This would also really work. Any type of Satanism workings, any type of, I will not say left, you will not hear me say left-handed path. Any other type of, oh God, I hate saying devil workings. If you follow that path, it's so hard because I do not believe that is a devil. That would work as well. So energy workings, any energy magic, things like that. This would be a good thing to incorporate into it. Azul. He is beautiful. He is very beautiful. He really is. Okay, so if you wish to work with this symbol or this deity, if you wish to work with it as a deity, there we go. The proper title that he is to have is Lord Baphomet. If you're working it as a symbol, it is just Baphomet. Doesn't make a difference. Depends on how you're utilizing him. If you're working with him as a Church of Satan, or as a devil, or a darker being, having its title means honor and respect. So it's kind of like I earn my title at work and what I am, so I want to be depicted with my title. I don't want to be just my last name, as people call me in my previous profession, but I worked my way up to lieutenant. I want my lieutenant title. I earned it. So that's how you have to look at it. He earned that Lord title, okay? And just think of it like if we were back in that type of century and you were a lord or a lady, or, if you were a knight or a commander-in-chief or a general, things like that, you earn that title. You want to be called that title. So I highly recommend that if you work with him on that side of spectrum of him, Lord Baphomet. Sounds funny, but it does, it makes sense. It does. Okay, some things that you can offer to him or her. Your time and undivided communication. Huge. Okay? Any type of deity, not just Baphomet, but any type of deity, I highly, highly, highly recommend giving time to it. I won't be a gatekeeper on this, but I will just say my personal belief. No deity wants to work with someone who doesn't want to give them the time of day frequently. Now, I'm not saying every second of your moment, but if you cannot devote some time per week, why would they want to help you in anything? And now, I know we all have lives. I 100% know we all have lives. I am extremely busy 24/7. However, every day I go into work, I call out to one very specific goddess. Every day I'm going through struggles. I speak to the universe. I think of things frequently. I play things out in my mind. I say incantations in my head. I ask for help on things. I speak it. I communicate with it. So I don't have to sit here and just be like, I'm going to do this and we're going to add some spells and I'm going to work with this. No. If you talk, like today, I had a really good day. Stuff was finally working my way. So I thanked the house energy for things not breaking. And I thank the universe for helping me figure things out with my kids' school, with other things going on, some financial things that I was like, oh my gosh, what the fuck am I going to do with this? And I thank them because I know it wasn't just me that fixed it. I know it wasn't, because the things that I got fixed, a normal person, mental capabilities probably shouldn't be able to fix or be able to be like, oh yes, everything's working out wonderfully. No, everything will be good. I'm not an idiot. I know I had help. So I thanked those that helped me. So be communicative. Again, this is one that would be even easier to communicate with daily, just speaking to it, is because it is everything. It is the energy. It is the elements. It is every thought of calm and wisdom. And even if you want to think of it like that ringing in the ear and you're downloading information, think of it as Baphomet. Thank him or her, however you want to depict it. Use it as an amplifier. You know what I mean? Focus on it. Think about it. Picture it. Use it. That's staying within your magic. It's not always about doing, these awesome spells with these awesome items and stuff like that, because back in the day, they didn't have any of this stuff. So how did they do the magic? How did they manifest stuff? Very easy. They spoke it, they thought it, they believed it, they manifested it. It's the basics of where we originated from, correct? So it's the same thing when you give him offers. You talk to him, you speak to him, you give him your time, you give him communication. You let him know that you're still thinking of him and that you rely on the wisdom that he's going to provide for you. Hey, Kathy. Meditation energy, he loves, because that is where you find your calm and your balance, right? Calm and balance. Carving his symbol, which he does have a symbol or a sigil as well. I don't have that here, but you can look that up. It's not that. It's just be careful. Don't take the Church of Satan one. Don't take that one. Okay, at all. Stay away from that one. Unless you're going to focus on working with them that way. But if you're using them as a neutral base, make sure you get the right symbol. Carve their name into a candle. Just sitting it on the altar. Their altar. Make a little mini altar. That's fine. You don't mind. Liquor. He loves. Because liquor, and I know, there's a lot of people that go through AA and stuff like that. And I'll never be like, liquor. But when people drink, it does give them that calm effect. So that's why liquor is offered to him. So I'm not saying drink it, but I'm saying offer it to him. Bones. He loves bones. I don't really know why, but it is one of the things he likes. Probably because bones do represent a possible rebirth, because, you're feeding the ground, you're feeding the earth itself, from the flesh to the skin to the blood to the bones. All seeps back into earth, to the earth, and then just as we're born into something else, or neutralizes, gives nutrients to the plants, the ground, the soil, things like that. Ropes tied together. He loves the knots. He really does. Anything that is a goat, lion, snake representation. And the lion part is because of the mane that's on his chest. That's the lion representation. Any type of herbs that represent one of the four. So if you're going to have herbs representing, make sure you have the four main ones, or five. Like I said, if you want to do the 5, I don't really care. I don't think he cares either. So at least one herb for each element. And then he loves torches and ash too. So if you have your incense and stuff like that, take the ash from it, put it in a little bowl or container or jar or something, and offer that to him as well. All right. Let's see. Exactly, Christy, exactly. Then there are some beings that are so busy they don't even notice when you get so distracted you don't talk to them for a week or two. And again, that's where it's going to be your own personal preference. I know that... How can I say this without seeming gatekeepy? Because I don't want to be that way, because I refuse to be that way. But when I work with Morgan, if I stop asking her for assistance, or I stop working with her in the thought process of the manifestation of stuff and asking for her assistance and things like that daily, she gets jealous, but doesn't get jealous. It's more of a, okay, you don't want to work with me? Okay, that's fine. And then it takes me a while to get her back on the good side, I guess you can say. Now, have I stepped a little bit away from Lilith a little bit and let her, know that I'm going to utilize her when I need her for that embodiment? Yes, she has no problem with that. So Loki doesn't give about anything. He's going to make himself present in my life whether I want him to be or not. So again, it really just depends on your personal preference and who you're working with. Because like I said, the Morgan, which if anyone else works with the Morgan, maybe you might feel the same, or you might have a different opinion or view on it, which is totally understandable, because we're all going to look at things differently. But I have never been able to not work with Morgan. She will get mad. I know since Kathy's on here, she can actually attest to this. We had gone to our Reiki level 1 class, and we got opened up in a single, oh my God, I almost said single cell. Whoo, there's my job. In a single room with just me and one person. And we're allowing her to awaken us pretty much so that we can receive the energy. And Morgan would not let any other energy, deity, however, being assist me, because you usually have, when you're doing Reiki, there's something that helps you gather. That's something you can, deal with. And Morgan made herself very known that she actually was burning my person's hands when she was awakening all my chakras and all that. When we went out to sit together, Kathy had the same thing, but hers was with Hecate. Now, we don't tell these people anything about us. They just see us as a person. They don't know anything about who we practice with or anything like that. But the fact that she was able to literally be like, do you work with the Morgan? Because she goes, she literally would not let a single one of them step up to help you. It was her or no one. And Morgan does not work within Reiki, but she did for me and will for me. So it's one of those ones like, hey, that's it. Like, you are not allowed to work with any other type of being or energy besides mine unless I give prior approval, if that makes sense. That's why my Pantheon, or my patronesses, there's only 3 that I am allowed to keep as a trinity as my main, and that's Morgan, Lilith, and Loki. That's it. Do I work with sub or demis, as I call them? Yes, I do, and I'm allowed to. But the main ones that are to be present in my life, that are I go to only, are those 3. And that's because it's set by her, the main. It's just how it is. So that's why, Alexi, when I said that, is because I can't not communicate frequently. But again, I'm not saying I'm working. I'm just saying I'm always thinking about them. If that makes sense. See, guys, I'll never forget that day. It was crazy because we're both sitting there and we're just looking at them like, how did you know? Because we don't write anything down. We don't tell them nothing about us. They don't know nothing. Completely nothing. Now, no one would believe me if Kathy wasn't there to witness the same thing, because I didn't even believe. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? How would you know? You know what I mean? Because Morgan, like I said, does not work in Reiki. And Hecate definitely doesn't work within Reiki either, but we were not allowed to work with any other being, which was kind of cool. Okay, so questions? Does anyone have questions? Because like I said, I don't want to go through too much history and stuff like that, but definitely highly recommend. Like I said, it came originally from the Knights Templar, so the 1800s. But there's some things, like if you want to work with Baphomet, you could work within those types of magics, offerings like we went through. If you meditate and ask him or her what they would prefer, that would be a good thing too. I can't think of anything else. Does anyone have any questions? I ran out of ideas, but I just want everyone to, which was funny because, my little title for this was Baphomet, Do You Dare? And that's because so many people depict him as being so, devil, so Satan, type of magic. It's not even really that, because it's completely solely alchemy based, which is amazing. Oh, I got you. Unfortunately, it turned out those Reiki teachers had ripped us off another Reiki master's whole class and tried to pass it on as their own book and all. Oh, yeah. That's probably why we didn't go back for 2 in masters. We went somewhere else. But it was still, it's still an experience nonetheless, though. Questions? Anyone? If you look at if you want to add crystals or anything like that, obviously clear quartz is fantastic. Crystals representing the elements, put in the 4 corners, or if you want to use the 5, point it in the 5 directions around this figurine or statue or the sigil. Rebecca says, no questions, but thank you for opening my eyes. I'm realizing that I did look at him in stereotypes. And it's so frequent. And honestly, even if you look at, what was that TV show? Sabrina, the new Sabrina. And if you watch some of the episodes, Baphomet is in the huge statue is behind Sabrina a lot in a lot of her episodes. And it was to represent the Church of Satan or demonic. It was not represented as it should be, which really upset me for being an occult style show. But I mean, that's how the modern world of paganism looks at him. It's very demonic based, and that's anything but. It's actually opposite, and it's just because of how he looks. But I mean, blame the Knights of Templar. That's where we got it from. So, and I think they did a great job for the few members that were corresponding about him. But where did it originate from? I'll leave that. I'm sorry. Let me phrase that. Where did the Knights of Templar really get it from? What were in those letters that were burned and incinerated? Where did they get it? Dreams? Visions? Something to look into. I know the answers, but I'm not going to give it to you. But where did these images come from? Because they came from somewhere. Or else, why would they all be very similar between letters? Oh, I miss you too. We will. We'll get together now that it's going to get, well, it's still cold, but we'll get together. I got to go to Columbus for 3 days, so I'll be in London Correctional. Ugh, I'm getting beat up again. Cena was not impressed. Yeah, I mean, I like some things. I like their incantation to Hecate. That was pretty intense. I won't lie. That was one of my favorite episodes. But some of the things I was a little upset about the depiction of some of the deities and the demons and stuff, because, you know, we all work within that type of spectrum. So it's just sometimes I wish they would actually portray it as it should be portrayed and not so negative all the time. Perfect. Oh, I try. Being the only female, man, I gotta keep it up. I hope. I mean, they haven't seen me since I lost all my weight, so let's see. They'll walk in and be like, yeah, look at these guns now. Now what? All right. But like I said, I really hope this kind of opened your eyes. I really hope it kind of gave you a little bit new. No. Let's just say I really hope it kind of changed your idea of what you can do with him and her, and that it's not an evil thing. And it's actually a great thing. And it's something that I think a lot of houses should be present in. I know my mother-in-law freaks out when she sees this, and I love it. When we were moving and packing everything, she was packing the room where he was in, and she said to him like this, like, I no lie. Because I just got this from Cheyenne, actually, because it was one of our Baba Yaga boxes. Or it was Baba Yaga box. And it had it sitting with clear quartz and all that, and she was wrapping some stuff up, and she was like, Crystal, here, I'm not wrapping that. That's you. I can't. I was like, dear mother, you believe in crystals and the power of energy of crystals. Yes, but I don't do that stuff that you do. Just can't. And I just kind of looked, I was like, okay. Well, little did she know is this thing is probably the best thing in my house that does not have any type of negative energy whatsoever. So I thought it was hilarious. I was like, okay, Mom, thanks. And I told my husband, I was like, your mom does not like him. She just kind of rolled his eyes. He's like, yeah, that's my mom for you. I was like, yeah, too bad. She got a daughter that's pretty heavy into that stuff. She thought that I was going to be like a little crystal worshiper. No, sweetheart, I got way more depth than that. I've lived too many lives in this lifestyle. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Yeah, they made her like weak, and you can't make Lilith like she is. Just can't. Don't even start. I can't wait to do the Lilith live too, because that's going to be exciting, because we're going to take her into the dark side. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Lilith, highly recommend, if you haven't watch my Lilith live, you'll find it in my YouTube. And it gives you the general basis of Lilith. There's a meditation also about introducing yourself to Lilith. The next live I do, which is, what did I have it set for? September. I know it's a little long, sorry guys, but I'm planning it out based off of where they fall in the cycle of, I'm not gonna say like Sabbaths, but kinda. And we're gonna dig into the darker side, the more left-handed path spectrum of her. But the empowerment and the body of who she really is. Which is really funny because I know Kathy and I talked about Lilith today, and I know Sarah Lee and I talked a lot about Lilith too lately. So Lilith's been on a lot of people's brains. And I know Serenity also. So that's kind of cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm headed out. So this is fitting, but namaste. Everyone, go and balance yourself. Have fun. And I hope you can bring Baphomet into your life. It's a good conversation piece, scares people off, but you know what it actually means. So we will leave you tonight, and I'll see you guys next month for Morgan Le Fay, the priestess or goddess of Avalon. So have a good night. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.